Gopijana Vallabha Girivanadari Yashodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Javihari Jaya Jaya Radha Madhava Javihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivanadari Gopijana Vallabha Girivanadari Yashodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Bhajana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jayam Vishnupada Paramahansa Prabhujakacharya Asatas Shishaman. His Divine Grace of the A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. Ananta Kota Vaishnavani ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glorious to some of the devotees. All glorious to some of the devotees. All glorious to some of the devotees. All glorious to Shishi Guru and Shri Gauranga. Five, 24, 9, 14. Oh, these are prose.
It's prose, yes.
Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Let's read from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 24. Whoa, the subterranean heavenly planets. Text number 9. So I'll just read the English. My dear King, in the imitation heavens known as Bila of Swarga, there was a great demon named Maya Danava who was an expert artist and architect. He has constructed many brilliantly decorated cities. There are many wonderful houses, walls, gates, assembly houses, temples, yards, and temple compounds, as well as many hotels serving as residential quarters for foreigners. The houses for the leaders of these planets are constructed with the most valuable jewels, and they are always crowded with living entities known as Nagas excuse me, and Asuras, as well as many pigeons, parrots, and similar birds. All in all, these imitation heavenly cities are most beautifully situated and attractively decorated. So there's a translation going on in there.
Yeah, until there's a purport.
Oh, is there? Okay. Let's see when the purport comes. Okay, that's on, 14. Okay. The parks and gardens in the artificial heavens surpass in beauty those of the upper heavenly planets. The trees in those gardens, embraced by creepers, bend with a heavy burden of twigs with fruits and flowers, and therefore they appear extraordinarily beautiful. That beauty, I'm going to need some water, I think. That beauty could attract anyone and make his mind fully blossom in the pleasure of sense gratification. There are many lakes and reservoirs with clear, transparent water, agitated by jumping fish, and decorated with many flowers such as lilies, kuvalayas, kalaras, and blue and red lotuses. I was at one country in the around, what is it? Anyway, there was wild lotuses in the streams, hundreds of them, beautiful big lotuses. Guyana, I think, yeah. It was unbelievable, hundreds of them. Anybody ever smelled a lotus flower? If you could smell candy, it's like that. It's like so fragrant. And there was different colors, blue and yellow and red. And it was just one of the most beautiful things. They're just growing wild. So you can imagine that the deities are covered with all these lotuses. It's amazing. Beautiful. Pairs of chakravaka's and many other water birds nest in the lakes and always enjoy a happy mood, making sweet, pleasing vibrations that are very satisfying and conducive to enjoyment of the senses. And now this is 11. Since there is no sunshine in those subterranean planets, time is not divided into days and nights. No sun, so that you don't know when it's morning or evening. Interesting, huh? And consequently, fear produced by time does not exist. Wow. So it appears that a lot of because throughout the world, towards the evening time, when the sun goes down, then the thieves come out, right? In the morning time, there's no thieves, pretty much, right? They're all sleeping, right? So a lot of the crime has to do. It's like in the morning, it's a mode of goodness, and in the afternoon, it becomes more a mode of passion. In the evening, that's when people start drinking and doing all kinds of, So the sun has a lot to do with people's consciousness. Yeah. Interesting, huh? Since there's no sunshine in those subterranean planets, it's interesting. Because it's part of the universe, you would think that the sun would also be there, but no. Time is not divided into days and nights, and consequently fear produced by time does not exist. Very interesting. Many great serpents reside there with gems on their hoods, and the effulgence of these gems dissipate the darkness in all directions. So they're effulgent. The jewels on the heads of the snakes are effulgent. Now we're on text 13. What's happening? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. There it goes. Since the residents of these planets drink and bathe in juices and elixirs made from wonderful herbs, they are freed from all anxieties and physical diseases. They have no experience of gray hair, wrinkles, or invalidity. Their bodily lusters do not fade. Their perspiration does not cause a bad smell, and they are not troubled by fatigue or by lack of energy or enthusiasm due to old age. And now here, this is text 14. They live very auspiciously and do not fear death from anything but death's established time, which is the effulgence of the Sudarshana Chakra of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, purport. This is the defect of material existence. Everything in the subterranean heavens is very nicely arranged. There are well-situated residential quarters, there is a pleasing atmosphere, and there are no bodily inconveniences or mental anxieties. But, nevertheless, those who live there have to take another birth according to karma. Persons whose minds are dull cannot understand this defect of materialistic civilization aiming at material comforts. One may make his living conditions very pleasing for the senses, but despite all favorable conditions, one must in due course of time meet death. The members of a demoniac civilization endeavor to make their living conditions very comfortable, but they cannot check death. The influence of the Sudarshan Chakra will not allow their so-called material happiness to endure. Om Jnana Devanandasya Gnanjana Salakaya Chakshun Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Mukam Kotabhachalam Pangunam Hayate Grim Yatkripadaraham Mande Shigurum Dinadaranam Vanchakapatubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So it appears to be a very nice place, subterranean, heavenly planets. But there's a problem. Death. Yeah. No one wants to die. And the reason no one wants to die is because no one does die. No one dies. Nainam chindanti sastrani, nainam dihapi pavaka, na chainam kalyantyapam, na sochiti marata. That the soul cannot be destroyed by any weapon. Just like now we have this war taking place and so much killing going on. But no one's dying. The body is dying, but not the soul. Even the most powerful nuclear bomb can't kill the soul. It can't be burned. Practically everything can be burned, but not the soul. It can't be withered by the wind. You can't drown the soul. So this is the situation of the living entity. It can't be killed. Mrityu amrita Mrityu Amritava. There's one statement, I can't remember. Mrityu Amritava. Anyway, the statement says that why stay in a place where one has to die? Why not go to a place where you don't die? Muktir hitvanyatavrupam sarupena vivasati. That real liberation means to get a spiritual body. In the spiritual world, the bodies don't die. So, this journey of Krishna consciousness means that our spiritual body is growing. Subtly, our spiritual body is growing. We may not notice how it's growing, but it's growing as we advance in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, a pure devotee, his body is completely spiritualized. Like Prabhupada, everything he did was for the pleasure of Krishna. So he had a spiritual body. Brahmarpanam brahmahavir brahmavigna brahmanahitam brahmaiva tena gantavyak brahmakarma samadhina. One who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities in which that which is consumed is absolute and that which is given is of the same spiritual nature. Absolute. So a devotee only accepts things in relation to Krishna and only distributes things in relation to Krishna. Just like today there's going to be Harinam. We're giving out the holy name. We give out books. We give out prasadam. It's a giving society. In Miami, they did the survey, devotees did a survey. So they called 100 people in Miami at random and asked the people, what do you like the most about the Hare Krishnas? So what do you think they said? No.
Chanting and dancing in the street.
Yeah. We're the only group in the world that goes out to the public and we sing and dance. So that's what people like. That's what they like most about the Hare Krishna movement. We go out and we sing and we dance. I was distributing books during a Harinam in Germany, and it was a big Harinam. There's about 4 sannyasis and there's maybe 80 devotees. It was nice, maybe, 20 years ago. And 2 girls were watching it, and they were kind of dancing along and appreciating it. And one of them said, I travel around the world, and I see you people everywhere. You're the happiest people in the world. And I was thinking, okay, good. I joined the right movement. Yeah. And they took some books. They liked the Harinam. They took some books. And as we were talking, the devotees they continued the Harinam. And one of them said, hey, wait, they're leaving. We got to catch up. They joined the Harinam party. So, and what happens by this chanting and by this hearing and by this practice of Krishna consciousness is we overcome this death and all the problems. Birth, death, old age, disease, these are the problems in this world. Nobody wants disease. So many diseases. I have a disease called eosinophilic esophagitis. It's not a big thing, it's just an allergy to the esophagus, so I got it under control. But there's so many diseases we've never heard of. I have another disease called sesamoiditis. Anybody heard of either one of these? There's so many diseases. We have these bones on our knees called a sesame bone I was telling you earlier. This bone on the knee, it moves. It's called a sesamoid bone. So we have those under our big toe also. There's 2 of them. So one of mine got injured, so sesamoiditis. So many diseases we can't even imagine. So many types of cancer. So many. Spiritual world, there's no disease. And here we're hearing now that people in the subterranean heavenly planets, they don't even get wrinkles. Yeah, apparently they don't. Old age isn't there. Like also in the heavenly planets, their body doesn't get old. There's death, but they don't experience the wrinkles and the gray hair. Oh, it mentions that here also. They don't get gray hair. So, but there's no light. There's no sun, which is interesting. But it says here that the jewels on the heads of the serpents, they give illumination. There's no sun, but they get illumination from the jewels on the heads of the snakes. Amazing. Pretty effulgent jewels on there. So, in the spiritual world also it said that there is no need for sun or moon. The planets are self-effulgent. Now that doesn't mean there isn't a moon or sun. There's no need. It's like there's so many pastimes of Krishna and the moon, having the rasa dance and the full moon. So there might be a moon there, but it's not needed. So this verse says, they live very auspiciously and do not fear death. This is something which is very fearful for people. Everybody's trying to avoid death. We don't want to die. Therefore, people are living healthy lives and taking supplements, and people want to live. But death comes anyway. Krishna todiya padapankaja pancharatram adjaiva meva sadumana saraja hangsa prana prayana samayo kapavata pita kanta virodhana. Kanta virodhana, you know the last night? Kanta virodhana, but how smarana kutaste. This is King Kulashekar. He says, I pray that the swan of my mind may immediately get locked up in the network of Krishna's lotus feet. Otherwise, if I wait till the end of my life, when my memory is weak, my throat is choked up, how will it be possible for me to chant the names of Krishna and remember Krishna? So sometimes people want to live long lives. Devotees don't want. Prabhupada actually said we should live a long life because we need a lot of purification, but not too long. Sometimes you get to be like 100 years old and start losing your memory and things. Although I heard of one lady, she was 112, and she still had, still sharp, mentally. And she said, I think God has forgotten me. 112. I don't think I'd want to live that long. Because the body really breaks down. And we want to have a sharp memory and healthy body. So therefore he says that, Krishna tudiya padapankaja pancharatram adhyaiva meva satavana rajas. So evidently the swan likes to go down to the lotus stem and wrap its neck around the lotus stem. So the devotee wants to wrap his mind around the lotus feet, always thinking of Krishna. This is the goal, to always think of Krishna. And therefore, Krishna says, Manmana bhava madbhakto majjaji mam namaskuru. Mambivaishasi satyamte pratijane priyosame. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you'll come to me without fail. I promise you this because you're my very dear friend, he says to Arjuna. And in the Vishnu Purana, it's stated, Sahastani Mahachidram. Sa mohasa chividmava. It's stated that if one forgets Krishna for one moment, that is the greatest failure. That is the greatest loss. That is the greatest illusion. And that is the greatest anomaly. One moment in which we forget Krishna. So it's so important to remember Krishna. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains how to remember Krishna. Kaving pranam, that we should think of Krishna as he who knows everything. Sometimes I meet atheists on book distribution. So I tell them, actually, if you're intelligent, you're not an atheist. And they get a little, their false ego gets a little bit riled. Oh yeah? How's that? So I ask them, how much do you know? And they are a little hesitant. I ask them, how much do you know? There's billions of things you don't know. Correct? Yeah, all right. Yeah, billions of things I don't know. So one of the billions of things you don't know is whether there's a God or not. You haven't a clue. You don't know if there's a God. And without exception, they always accept, yeah, you're right. But one guy said, I got a good hunch that there's no God. And I said, that means you don't know. You got a good hunch that there's no God, but that means you don't know. So you're not an atheist. You're an agnostic. And sometimes they get angry because to be an atheist means like you're an uttama, materialist. You're up there, yeah. So I brought him down. He had to accept, you're right, I don't know. I met one guy, I asked him, so, I was distributing books, I asked him, so what kind of work do you do? He said, well, I'm God. I said, oh, big position you have there. So I said, well, you know, one of the symptoms of God is that he knows everything. Can you tell me what I'm thinking? He said, yeah. You're thinking I'm a rascal. I said, good, you're right. But I was also thinking of a number. Can you tell me the number? No. So there's cheaters. There's a lot of people out there that think they're God. Just a few weeks ago, I was distributing books in California, and a homeless guy came by on his bike, and he said, oh, what group are you with? I said, well, I'm a Hare Krishna devotee. He said, oh, yeah, you're Krishna, I'm Krishna, we're all Krishna. I said, well, I think Krishna's a little more attractive than you. So there's a lot of madness out there. And Krishna comes to try to clear the madness. Help us understand who God is. The position of God. He knows everything. Vedyam, Pavitram, Omkaram. I know everything that's happened in the past. Everything that's going to happen in the future. And everything that's happening right now. That's God. I know everything that's happened everywhere in the past. I know everything that's going to happen everywhere in the future. I know everything that's happening right now. Vedyam Pavitram Omkara. No, Vedaham Samatitani, Vartamanani Charjana, Bhivishyami Chibutani, Mamta Vedana Kashana. So this is Krishna, this is God. He knows everything. Kaving prana. And Krishna, he's the oldest person. But he looks like a fresh youth. 16 years old. Most beautiful. Madaram Madaram, Vaparasiripam, Madaram Madaram, Vadanam Madaram. Madhugandhi Mridhu, Srutam Etadaho, Madaram Madaram Madaram, Madhura. That the form of Krishna is very beautiful. There's only one form that's more beautiful than the form of Krishna. Anyone know what that is? Radharani, yeah. Very beautiful. So, his form is very beautiful. More beautiful than his form is his face. And more beautiful than his face is is described as honey sweet smile. Krishna has a beautiful smile. Very attractive. So although he's the oldest person, he's the most beautiful person. Kaving pranam anusasatar anur anyangsa anusmredya. We should think of him as also being smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest. Krishna is so small, he could take a long walk in the atom. And he's so big that he has expansions. He's got Mahavishnu expansion. And from this Mahavishnu expansion, universes are coming from the pores of his body. He breathes out, universes are going out. He breathes in, universes are coming in. Yeah. So this existence right now is Krishna's breathing out. Long breaths. He's big. And he's also known as Satya Sankalpa, that whatever he wants, it just happens. When we want to do something, it takes great endeavor, just like we're building the TOVP. I think we started that about 15 years ago, something like that. And still it's not finished. And even next year, we're going to install the deities next year in the new temple. But still, it's going to take another 10 years before it's finished. Such an endeavor. But for Krishna, it just happens. And what's the example? Dwarka. Dwarka, he made this island out there. And palaces. How many palaces? Thousands of palaces, huge, beautiful palaces. Just that's Krishna. He's a good architect. So, kaving pranam anusasataram anur aniyangsa anusmredya sarvasya dataram achintya rupam. This means that Krishna, he's maintaining everyone. Sometimes people say, oh, there's overpopulation. But no, there's plenty of space on this planet. The problem is misuse. So many people, like millions of people. I used to live in LA, Los Angeles, like 20 million people. So many people in this one area, but there's so much land just being wasted. Thousands and thousands and thousands of acres in America is just sitting there. No one's utilized. Yeah. And Prabhupada, he went to Africa, and he said, Africa also, so much land is just being wasted. So much land is not being utilized properly. So there's Prabhupada was saying there's enough on this planet for 10 times the population. But it's just misuse, mismanagement. So Krishna, he's maintaining everyone. He gives and he gives and he gives and then he forgives. And we get, and we forget. We shouldn't forget. Krishna's given us so many nice things, and it's actually amazing. Krishna's he's amazing. You know, just like you get a apple seed, and you put it in the ground. You just put some water, and an apple tree comes up. They grow apples around here? What's the fruit? What fruits grow around here? Apples? Yeah. So it's amazing. It's just a seed, and it goes in the ground. You put some water, and a plant comes up, and it becomes an apple tree, and hundreds of apples come out of this tree. And they're sweet. Apples are nice. Yeah. Apple a day keeps the doctor away. You have that saying here too? Yeah. But in the ground there's no sugar. It's just dirt. But the apples come out sweet. It's amazing. What to speak of mangoes and other, there's a sweet called a mangosteen. You ever heard of mangosteen? Yeah, really nice. They're purple, and inside they're white, but they're so sweet. One of my favorite sweets, mangosteen. There's so many fruits and vegetables, so many vegetables we get. It's all coming out of dirt. All these nice vegetables and fruits and that we're eating, it's all coming out of dirt. It's amazing. So this is Krishna. Krishna's mystic ability. Sarvasya Datam Achintya Rupam. Achintya Rupam means that Krishna, he has an inconceivable form. And he has so many forms. It's described that there's so many incarnations of Krishna, as many as there are waves in the ocean. There's unlimited waves in the ocean, right? So this is how many incarnations of Krishna there are. So many incarnations, so many forms of Krishna, and they're all inconceivable. Achintya. Krishna is achintya, he's inconceivable. One of my most favorite pastimes of Krishna is when Brahma heard that this Krishna, he says he's God, so he wanted to test. So he took away all the cowherd boys. He took away the calves and he put them in a slumber. Yeah. Took them away. So then Krishna, he understood, Brahma, he wants to test me, he's being a little mischievous. So what does Krishna do? He expands himself. Exactly like the boys were, just absolute perfect replicas of his friends and the calves. And there's many purposes took place in this pastime because Krishna is so wonderful. All the mothers wanted to also be the mother of Krishna because he's so attractive. So Krishna fulfilled that desire, and he became the child of the mothers, the senior gopis of Vrindavan. Jai Shishikoni, Jai Jagannath Baladev. So beautiful. So this went on for a year. Krishna is there in the form of these cowherd boys and the calves. And so Krishna's, he was playing with his friend, now he's playing with himself because they're all forms of himself. And then Brahma, he thought he might be playing with fire, so he just for a moment he took them and came back, and the boys are all there. The boys that he had taken, they're all there. And it's called Brahma Vimohana Lila. He became bewildered. Now, what is this? I just took them and now they're here. Yeah. And then, amazingly, as Brahma is looking on, bewildered, like how is this possible? They all manifest as four-armed Vishnu forms. And then he realized, I'm in trouble. I'm in a heap of trouble. Because this is actually Krishna. So then he paid dandavats. He paid dandavats, begging for forgiveness. And there's a whole chapter in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the prayers of Lord Brahma. He's begging for forgiveness because he's messing with Krishna's pastimes there in Vrindavan. So, yeah, Krishna, he's achintya, inconceivable. And then aditya varnam tamasa parastat, that aditya means he's effulgence. He's very effulgent, and therefore devotees say, Krishna, please remove this glaring effulgence so I could see your form. The Brahma Jyoti is coming from Krishna. Please remove this glaring effulgence so I can see your form, the most attractive form. Adityavarnam tamasa parastat. And Krishna, he's never overcome by darkness. The living entities in this world are all overcome by darkness. And the main darkness that the living entities experience in this world is the bodily conception of life. We're thinking we're American or Russian or Chinese or Swiss or German. This is all illusion. The main illusion in this material world. And therefore Prabhupada, throughout Prabhupada's books, he's putting, we're not the body, we're not the body, we're not the body. And hopefully eventually it sinks in that we're not the body, we're the soul within. This is reality. So this is the verse Krishna explains. This is how to think of me. We got to think of something. So better think of Krishna. And the more we think of Krishna, the more we get purified. And Krishna is so wonderful that however we think of Krishna, however we come in contact with Krishna, we get purified. It's like we take prasadam. Prabhupada said this is our secret weapon, prasadam. Prasadam is not different than Krishna. And reading books, we read the Srimad Bhagavatam, we read the Bhagavad Gita, we get purified just by hearing these words. Prabhupada said, if someone just touches the book, if they just touch the book, they benefit. Because the book is non-different than the deity. There were some book distributors, they wanted to install deities in their Sankirtan van. And Prabhupada said, not necessary. You worship the books, because the books are not different than Krishna, the deity. And association with the devotees, so many ways we get purified by this connection with Krishna. And if we're not thinking of Krishna, then Maya is there. Just like we're looking at the sun, we're getting the bright sunlight, but if we turn, then there's darkness, the shade. So we have to always be thinking of Krishna. There were some devotees in Australia back in the early days, before we were allowed to do Harinam. Now we're allowed to do Harinam, but they used to throw them in jail. So devotees contacted Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, they put us in jail in Australia. Should we get a lawyer? And Prabhupada said, no, just chant Hare Krishna. And Krishna will take care. So they did that, and they took it to heart. Every morning at 4:30, they would have Mangal Arti. And someone would blow the conch shell. And there would be a pujari offering incense. And then the flame. And then someone would walk around and touch. There's no flame, there's no incense, no nothing. It's all mental seva, mental seva. And they would offer the water, and offer the cloth, and then do the chamara. And then they would have Tulsi Puja, Guru Puja, the whole thing. Honoring prasadam, no prasad. So there was other prisoners there also, and they were thinking, boy, these Hare Krishnas are pretty far out people. So they were telling the guards, hey, these are saints, they don't belong here. Let them go, What do you? These are saintly people, just absorbed in God. Let them go. So after, I think, 4 days, they let them go. All right, guys, go ahead. Do your Harinam, go ahead, it's okay. So, and there was an instance where Shyamasundar, Shyamasundar and Malati, they were the first to go to, along with Mukunda and Guru Das and their wives. They went to England, opened up the Krishna consciousness there. But before they went, they said, Prabhupada, me and Malati, we have to go to jail. And Prabhupada said, oh, why? Prabhupada, we used to sell drugs. And he said, that's okay, I used to sell drugs too. He was pharmaceuticals. But Prabhupada's jail, it's horrible. No, Krishna was born in jail. So he took it very light. And you're a good boy. And Malati, your wife, she's a good girl. They'll let you out early. Just like they have this thing in America. I don't know if they have it here. But if someone's in prison and they're a good prisoner, they get out early. They have that here also? If you're a good prisoner? It's called getting out on good time. During that time, they're good. All right, you're a good prisoner. All right, we'll let you out early.
It was an initiative some time ago that they're not doing that anymore.
Oh, now they stopped it?
They stopped it. Yeah.
Oh, because they make a show of being good, then they go out and they're bad again, or maybe. So all of us also, we're here. This material world, it's a prison. Like they have a song in America. This land is your land. This land is my land. And it's made for you and me. They're correct there. It's Krishna's land. It's not our land. Actually, they're incorrect. They're saying this land is your land, this is my land. It's not our land. It actually belongs to Krishna. But it is made for us because we're prisoners. Anybody that wants to try to take the position of Krishna, we come here and we're bad citizens. And these are our prison suits, material bodies. So now we're trying to become good citizens. By this practice of Krishna consciousness, we're trying to become good citizens. And we can get out early if we're very good. If we become pure devotees, we go back home. That's our real home. This is not our real home. We're ETs, extraterrestrials. It's not our home. So we're trying to go back home, back to Godhead. It's not easy, but possible. With determination and patience. So maybe I'll stop there. Any question? Comments? Yes?
Thank you very much for the lecture. I think it was text 9, it was mentioned that they have temples in the lower eight planetary systems. But I was wondering, since they don't worship the Lord, who do they worship?
It says they don't worship the Lord?
No, I thought that they were so much enjoying and they never worship the Lord.
Well, maybe they do. I don't remember it saying that they don't worship the Lord. Did anybody remember that? I think if there's temples, then they're probably worshiping, because that's what happens in temples. Yeah. They worship God.
I was also wondering, like, because they don't get any disease or old age, like, how do they die? Is it when they're...
Yeah, also in the heavenly planets, the exhibition of old age doesn't happen, but they die. Yeah, how that happens, I don't know. Good question. I don't want to go to heaven to find out. That might be the way you would find out, but we don't want to do that. We want to go back to Krishna. But yeah, I'm not sure. Everybody has their time, and then time runs out and they leave their body. We all have our time. We don't know. But right now, these bodies are dying. At every second, these bodies are getting closer to death. Like Prabhupada, he was given initiation, sannyas initiation to young people, in their 20s. And there was one reporter who knew about this, that knew about sannyas, and that generally people in their elderly time of life, they would take sannyas. So he said, Swamiji, I see you're giving sannyas to these young men, but generally my understanding was to old people. And Prabhupada said, who's to say? He said, old age means about to die. Old age means about to die. Who's to say that you will die after me? You may die before me. Who's to say? We don't know. Old age means about to die, so we don't know when we're going to die. Therefore, I'm giving them sannyas. And also he said at one point that this is an emergency. Just like in war, sometimes the higher-ups, the generals, will give someone that's a private, he'll make him a captain. You know, although he's only been a private for 4 months or something, he'll make him a captain because it's an emergency situation. So Prabhupada saw this as an emergency, that it's Kali Yuga, everybody's just completely in Maya, and we need some major preaching going on. So therefore he gave a lot of sannyas. But at one point he became disgusted. I was just reading, Harisari just finished his it's out now, the last book. I think it's book number 6. So it's out now, I just read it. And Prabhupada, this is in 77, early 77. So some people wanted to take sannyas, but just then a major sannyasi had fallen down. And he said 9 sannyasis had fallen down in the period that he had given 9 people sannyas. So he decided not to give sannyas anymore. But then I was just talking to, what's the sannyasi there in India? He's in Salem, Bhakti Vikas Swami. He said, well, actually, Prabhupada did give sannyas to some more. I think Bhakti Charu and maybe a couple others, but he decreased a lot because he became disappointed that so many sannyasis were falling down. Any other question or comment? Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki? Yeah.
Damodar just sent me a message asking me if I can accompany you on the train to
Well, I don't want to force you on that. I don't want to put you in that.
No, I'm happy to come. If you're okay to go back.
Yeah, I feel like.
They're picking us up at the train station there. They're going to pick us up at the train station there.
Where do you go? I'll go. But there's no vehicle.
Maybe I could try to get a vehicle.
That'd be nicer, but I don't want to do that. If there's no vehicle, then I can just take a train by myself. It'd be nice.
I'll drop you at the train station. I can do that. I'll drop you at the train station. Okay.
Я у многих спрашивал, у Махараджи.
Oh, just one sec. Is prasadam now, Prabhu?
Yes. Some fruits and yogurt.
Yeah, good.
I have already asked many Maharajas and senior devotees.
Да, получается, что во Вселенной есть 8 миллионов 400 тысяч форм жизни.
As I understand, in the universe exist 8,400,000 form of species.
И 400 тысяч это человеческие.
And 400 of 400,000 it's human form of life.
И из них только 9 тысяч цивилизованных.
and from them only 9,000 it's civilized.
А вот эти 291 тысяча
And this 291,000
уже соображают согласно мозгов, выданных им Кришной. Ну, согласно мозгов, выданных им
They have
Кришной.
intellect given by Krishna.
Ага. Вы хотите перевести?
Я хочу перевести.
They understand this word according to intelligence that's given them by Krishna.
Да. Получается, что вот эти 291 тысяча, они цивилизованные. Их можно только или озарить, как Прабхупада нас озарил, и мы попали в цивилизованные, или просто они идут по своей как, карме мозгов, так, по обусловленности.
So, as I understand, for this 291,000 of species, it's only two variants, or we can give them knowledge, and or they will live according to their karma.
Ну да, получается, что они идут по, вот Господь дал аборигену такое тело, душе такое тело. Она там побегала, да? Там кого-то съела, потом попала в высшую форму, но они не идут по счетным принципам, они не идут животные. Они попадают с формы одной до такой, да, другую форму выше, потом выше, и так они идут уровень животных. Да.
So, according to karma, they will become better and better births after life.
Да. Ну я просто спрашиваю, как за вот эти 9 тысяч вопрос. Вот 9 тысяч цивилизованных, где это найти можно? Я знаю, что Прабхупада за эти 9 тысяч всегда не вспоминает.
And the question is, if you know something about this 9,000 of civilized human form of life, or maybe you can say.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never read it.
Не, но Прабхупада, вот я недавно лекцию слушал, он говорит, что цивилизованные люди, он прямо говорит слово
But
цивилизованные.
anybody can, by service to devotees, anybody can get pure. Kirata, anybody who serves the devotee can get pure.
Благодаря служению чистому преданному любой может очиститься, неважно, там цивилизованный.
Не, это да, это точно. Окей. Да. Ты понимаешь сама суть, да? Смотри. Сама суть программы такой, что Господь создает мир. И создает тело. Это стоит тело, и вообще нема нікого. І в тіло такі мозги, щоб він мог прийти в цей опит в цій формі. Щоб він, коли він пройде пройде весь опит, да? У нього не буде желання до Кришни, в смысле, не буде желання знову назад вернутися. Тоді треба прийти тут весь опит. І тебе убили, і прибили, і що хочеш. Да. Получається, що із 391 тисяча це яка беззала. І ти можеш там на нього там гнати людей, а в нього каже, в мене мозги отакі, мені Господь дав. У мене на ці мозги є якась свобода вибору, определенная, маленькая там такая. А в Свердловина там она большая. Получается, что когда мы их, говорим, там все такие, то есть мы не берем, их качество. Вот в чем проблема сама. Это 391 тысяч, это храм Кришны. А 9 цивилизованных, которые уже живут по счетным принципам. Понимаете, такая система? Да, и получается, что мы на лекции там бывает, я бывает там чуть, то они там такие, оказывается, когда ты не говоришь, набираешь качество. Если ты как раз светлый прикладываешь, то прикладывает их освещает. А если ты кругляешь, то набираешь качество. Понимаете? Очень интересно. И за це никто ни Тарун, ни Бесказан, никто ничего не знает за це.
Потому что я тоже, когда вы спрашивали, ну вот именно у кого где Прабхупада, ну мы же на Прабхупаду опираемся.
Ну, конечно, я все вспоминаю, цивилизованно.
Я смотрела, ну то есть вы спрашивали этот вопрос, я посмотрела там в Ветабейс, ну там же можно это искать по поиску. И там, Прабхупада на этом не акцентируется. То есть он говорит только 4 миллиона 800, но он никогда не говорит про 9. То есть там нигде он об этом не говорит.
Нет, это не максимум, потому что Прабхупада, если Балака с аборигеном, да, то очищается и
конкретно.
А если Балака я с аборигеном, для меня его гоню, то я только набираю его качество. Конечно, чуть-чуть. В чем уже эта самотонкость? Тело соединяет желание. И о чем ты говоришь, это набирается.
Но это относится не только там к цивилизованным, не цивилизованным, любого джива аппарата к совершенству. атма, ну, короче, там, вайшнава парадха, джива парадха, любого будешь оскорблять, там, неважно, цивилизованный, не цивилизованный, ты как бы это забираешь карму плохую, там.
Да,
Это ж в принципе.
да. Но когда мы это знаем, да, что есть цивилизованные, есть эти все варианты, это
Что это принципиально меняет?
це план Кришни.
Ну,
У Кришни є план. Він це ось зробив таку форму, да, такий форм середній. І туди входить душа з корови. Вона ходить така. А ми на неї там типу гонимо, да, каже, це план Кришни, він дав таку форму. Потім вона не попаде в живот. Він їсти м'ясо, він не попаде в живот, ще із аборигена. Він попаде чуть вище аборигена. И там это же...
Не, ну это такой путь, это ведическое, ну, короче, это раньше было такое, там, до Господа читания, до Прабхупады. То есть этот постепенный путь эволюции сознания. То есть когда там вот это надо было сначала, там, не знаю, он шудрой родился, потом он, короче, в следующей жизни уже там чуть-чуть получше себе карму наработал Ваши и стал потом там, ну, короче, до Брамана возвысился, и потом у него какая-то там способность цивилизованным открывается стать и типа прогрессировать как-то. Но Прабхупад пришел, и он дал метод Харинама Санкиртаны, который это все отвергает. Потому что он говорит, я не браман, я не шудра, я не вайшья, я не кшатри, я, короче, даже не млечка, я никто. Я слуга слуги, то есть я духовная душа. И вот это святое имя, оно компенсирует все. То есть неважно, там, цивилизованный он или нет, если он соприкасается с Харинама Санкиртаной, с Прабхупадой, с этим учением, оно, короче, все, ну, закрывает все дыры и все вот эти там...
Я сейчас це все знаю. Я ж тобі сказав, що якщо Прабхупада каже,
Ну,
или ми співаємо,
да.
то ми цього парня очищаємо.
Ну, так а что это меняет это знание? Ну, то есть о том, что есть цивилизованный или не цивилизованный. Как оно принципиально влияет на практику?
Ну, не цивилизовані.
Ну да, вот это вот понимание того, что там есть
Ты должна
цивилизованный.
понять, о чем я вообще говорю.
Просто Прабхупада на этом не акцентировался.
Не, Прабхупада, он святой. Мы говорим, что я, допустим, не могу кого-то судить. Мне должен дать или святое имя от Прабхупады.
Ну.
А так у меня немає, ну я не можу.
Так мы не можем судить никого. Ну, то есть неважно, там, цивилизованный он или нет. Ну, то есть мы никого не должны судить. Мы должны во всех душу видеть Кришну. Ну, то есть душу, которая важна для Кришны.
Я просто бачу лекції,
И...
де починають там, типа, ну, кормі там воспитувати.
Ну,
Да, я понимаю, что это ход неправильный, это план Кришны. Если у тебя есть сила его озарить, все. А если нет, то ты направишь качество, все и все.
ну да, но как бы надо принцип понимать, что на проповеди, ну и вообще в жизни, мы как бы стараемся не тело видеть, а вот именно душу. И душа, она свободна от вот этих телесных концепций, от того, какое тело получает душа. Сознание, оно не ограничено, то есть нет такого, что одно сознание цивилизованное, другое сознание не цивилизованное. Любое сознание, оно Кришнина, ну то есть сознание Кришны, просто оно может спать, а может быть уже пробуждено.
Нет, ну тоді я скажу больше, чтобы ты знала больше, но ты все не знаешь. Мы с тобой находимся сейчас в духовном мире.
Да, я знаю.
Да. І ми оце все дивимося як просто, як віртуальна реальність.
Мы не дивимося, ми спим там, ну ми заснули там.
Ну, духовно, ми ще дивимося, як по телевізору це. Оце ходить тіло місяць, а я думаю, що я в ньому.
Ну да.
Да. Ну, нас нема тут. Асад, то чего нет? Мы тут нет. Это сон, правильно?
Но мы тут есть, потому что мы захотели от Кришны
Нет, повтори еще раз. Мы здесь только желание.
Ну.
А мы там сидим. Наше тело духовное.
Ну да, но оно, наше тело духовное там, но сознанием мы сейчас находимся здесь,
Да,
потому что у нас было желание вернуться к Кришне.
да.
И поэтому пока мы не исправимся, как он сказал из тюрьмы, вот это вот наше сознание не поменяется на сознание Кришны, когда мы опять не будем себя считать Кришной, вот, то, ну, тогда мы там проснемся снова.
Да, там.
Да.
Просто что ты это говоришь, ну как ты это понимаешь? То, что ты говоришь правильно, а понимаешь, наверное, по-другому может быть. Потому что я вижу, что ты говоришь правильно, и как я говорю точно, что мы там сидим.
Да.
Но как ты это все понимаешь?
Ну, я понимаю так, что когда мы попадаем в материальный мир, мы...
Не, мы сюда не попадаем.
Мы попадаем, потому что...
Не, нас тут нету.
Нету?
Не,
Вы пустота.
я сижу в духовном мире, я сейчас сижу, и дивлюся це як спектакль реальність. Як ти дивишся в залі спектакль, от ти сидиш в залі, і ти починаєш думати, от ти ж тим героєм. І ти прямо вже там бігаєш, там ти вже там, вже це тіло, там як герой. Ну раз ти все просто, чого ти, Господи, думаєш, що там? Ну це так.
Ну, настоящее, как бы, наше там тело и вот это все, оно находится в духовном мире. Но сейчас я сознательно проживаю здесь.
Сознанием.
Сознанием я...
Меня духовного там нету. Я сознанием живу.
Ну,
Правильно же?
ну, тело, как бы, оно из сознания. Но вот он сегодня говорил, что наше тело духовное, оно формируется, когда мы, ну, вот занимаемся санкиртной. Вы не помните, как он точно это сказал?
Я помню, що, дивися, я не помню ці слова. Дивися, що виходить?
Ну, короче,
що
идея
я,
в том,
що я от я лично сейчас стою, от я духовний, да, я стою духовний, а потім я починаю себе покривати оцією ілюзією. Ну, типа, оце духовне, в мене ще є живе духовне тіло. Почему, допустим,
не то, что я себя начинаю покрывать, я сейчас нахожусь в иллюзии.
ну, ні, тут имеется в виду покривати в якому плані. Сперва ти брахмой думаєш, потім ти покриваєш себе сильніше, там вже може мікроби і вже сидиш. Ні, ми покриваємо себе постепенно, це ж нам дає Майя ці моменти. Надо це понять, ти говориш, но я понимаю, це правильно. Ти прийшов, ну, типа, я думав, що ти все це знаєш, оказується. Да.
Сколько же я ваших вопросов переводила, как же я могу не знать?
Да, получается, що в чому сама система, що стоїть, іде Прабхупада, іду я, оце в цьому тілі, хронічно. Він бере мене своєю святостю, клац, і мене повністю тіло моє згоріло, тому що він мені відкрив. Я зараз стою повністю при знанні. Ну, в мене все знання є. Просто мене накрила матерія, ілюзія. І чому до всього то буває, що когось там, типа, там, раз і озарило? Ну, там, все тут. Це все за те, що не снялася матерія. Це все.
Ну да, према она уже есть в сердце, просто она сейчас дремлет. Ну,
А не то, что все, мы с прямо состоим.
Да, но она как бы, ну, просто мы сейчас, все равно, что мы еще, если бы мы были уже на уровне премы, как бы проявлены, мы бы не находились в материальном мире. Потому что когда душа достигает премы, то есть она осознает себя в полной мере, Кришна ее забирает, она не может здесь оставаться больше. Вот. И так как мы еще нет, мы находимся здесь, потому что мы еще отождествляем себя здесь.
Я сейчас сижу в духовном мире, сейчас сижу, и включил себе свой телевизор. И Кришна на меня пробует там все тела, я думаю, что я там захожу. Я здесь, я в духовном мире. Но только начинаю возвращаться знанием, да? Я начинаю оживать. Ну, типа, если как, просыпаться. И потом приходит время, я могу вообще проснуться знанием. И прямо до Кришны, ну, типа, в духовном мире, и это все отходит. Если туда или душа легла, вот, я думаю, и типа в тело вынести. Или это самое. Еще вопрос, скажи мне, я Господь Чайтанья, ну это чудо, він же вже ж освободив Вселенную. Когда он ушел, он забрал всех с собой, он освободил. Як це вийшло, не помниш? Тут же не було кучі трупів лежало, що ушел Господь, всі тіла покидали. Як це ушло? Или души помінялися в тілах, як не помниш, да? Ну, допустим, не освободил Вселенную, все, не ушел.
Но он освободил тем, что дал их Харинаму Санкиртану.
Не, он освободил, их забрал. Це надо уточнить, кстати, ты можешь порыться. Ну, может, я не прав, тоже, да. Допустим, стоит Господь Чайтанья, и стою я в этом теле. Господь Чайтанья дал мне прямо, ну, типа, что я вспомнил мне. Тело сгорело, я ушел, но труп просто уже не валялся. Получается, что як це все произошло. Ну, дивися, когда перебывает червяка, ну, червяк, да, напополам, то моментально в ту половину вторая душа.
Ну там же было эти молитвы, я не помню, как правильно назвали, ну, которые Прохлад Махарадж в читании. И он же молился о том, что Господь, пусть там грехи всей вселенной на меня, лучше я в ад пойду, а они все, ну, там, к тебе. И Господь Чайтанья, он же тогда улыбнулся и сказал, что даже если ты как бы таким способом хочешь всех освободить, все равно существует бесчисленное количество живых существ, которые все равно будут, ну, вынуждены рождаться. То есть даже если ты сейчас всех освободишь, там всю эту вселенную, все вселенные, во-первых, сколько вселенных вообще существует, а во-вторых, ну, то есть сколько людей еще там в вот этой вот, как это, фазе ожидания находится, и типа родиться.
В общем, Игорь, ты понял суть, да, что меня интересует. Господь Чайтанья ушел, освободив Вселенную, это точно.
Где слышали?
Ну, все говорят.
Все говорят,
и
это кто?
Гуру говорили все, ну, просто обрати внимание на це.
Я не понимаю.
Ой, это найдешь.
Я не понимаю.
Да, и мне це інтересно.
Не надо так.
Вони вилетіли із тіл, а в тіло зайшла друга душа, я пішла далі робити там гранішками. А та душа полетіла там чи до Чайтаньї, чи просто духовно, я не знаю. Вот на це
Ну,
тоже.
когда Кришна ушел, он же тоже как бы ушел, и оставались же его чистые преданные.
понятно, но я веду, что оцей момент.
Не обязательно, что только Кришна там и Господь читания ушел, и в этот момент все там трупы, короче, вокруг.
Да, хорошо. Еще такие вопрос, знаете, это объясняю, бывает, я тут Махариши сам казав, нет, тут другий Махариш, що, оця іскра великолепія, да? Господь із атому, це із себе, це все з нього. Він ділає тіла. Тіла, дерев'я, це
Материя, да.
він все це ділає. І вона наліва, холодна, просто атом.
Да.
Да. Тіло, атом, все. Тоді він бере, що робить? Щоб це, була яка там движуха, да? Дає що? Іскру великолепія.
Ну, и душу дает.
Ні, душу ні. Душа попадає в емоції в шокі. Він дає на мир матерії іскру великолепія свого. Понимаете, да? Іскру дає. От прямо бабки. І потім цю іскру ділять на мільярди вкусів. Це вкус помідора, це вкус огурця, я все люблю маму, а сама моя йде моя така, а все моє, це все прямо бахти, це ж ми тут ось зараз тут друг друга. Це все прямо бахти, просто іскра поділена. Да. І виходить, що якщо я, допустим, там маму обнімаю, да, то я думаю, що це любов від мами, а це просто прямо бахти, така маленька доля. Ти такое слыхала, не мова вообще.
От вас слыхала, вообще припадне.
Ну же ж кажу, що я вкус води.
Да.
Це що це ж воно?
Ну просто как бы именно в такой философской подаче как бы я не слышала, но Кришна вкус воды туда.
Я не получается, що він же все тут. А з вкуса води там живі, там уже помидорчики, гусі, все шутки. Критиш. Просто когда оно проще, типа, это понимание, ты не знаешь в голову, кто-то там ученый, да? И у него там говорит, там, типа, такие понимания, мы через знания. А вот я вот такой, я начал писать эти штуки. Ага. Когда это самое, так по-простому, везде любовь ищет. Нужно просто на себя обратить внимание.
check it out later, grab the food or something.
But it's